guys, we're at an Toledo march. It's happening here in Minneapolis. I'll keep you updated, but there's just a large crowd of folks marching down in Minneapolis for Toledo. There's a lot of groups out here, dancing up ahead, as well as maybe a group of protesters leading the march. Hello? No worries, thanks. So we're in Minneapolis down Lake Street following a march commemorating Toledo, demanding justice for Toledo. There are some groups out here. So, for example, the groups that you saw dancing with the cultural attire. I couldn't tell you exactly what culture, but they're dancing. They got signs of Toledo, pictures, and there's a group up front, which you'll see. I have no clue exactly who they are, but they're leading the march today. So guys, we're in Minneapolis today, following a march demanding justice for Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo, I believe. There are groups out here marching, dancing. There are people chanting. The brown berets are up front, along with another group. I believe they're like a militia. They have guns. I need to ask their name. Honestly, I don't know exactly what group that is. They're most likely related to something like the Black Panthers. But they're leading the march at the front. And again, to demand justice for Adam Toledo. So guys, we just came from an event titled National Day of Action and demanding justice for all the families. Speakers of various family members spoke at this event, had children, brothers and sisters who were affected by police brutality. This march here, which is a separate event happening in Minneapolis, is commemorating the life of Adam Toledo and demanding justice. The Black Panthers chapter is marching along with the Brown Berets, and there's also a dance group in front leading the march.
Black and brown unite! Black and brown unite!
Black and brown
unite! Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our When black lives are under attack, what do? Hey guys, so we're on Lake Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota. This event is a justice march for Adam Toledo. There are various groups here, including the Brown Berets and the Black Panther chapter of Minneapolis. There are also folks that are dancing, as you witnessed behind me. And then there's a group of protesters chanting, following the dancers who are being led by the Brown Berets and Black Panther chapter of Minnesota. Right behind me is the 3rd precinct of police that was burned down a year ago. This is where the march is coming to a slowdown. I think that folks might stop here. Remember, this is where a lot of the marches and demonstrations started shortly after George Floyd's murder. Black and brown, black and brown, black and brown.
Who's street?
Whole street,
Who's street?
whole street,
Who's street?
whole street,
Who's street?
whole street.
Whose land?
Native land,
Whose land?
native land.
Whose street? Whose street?
Our street,
Whose street?
our street.
Whose land?
Native land,
Whose land?
native land.
What do we want?
Justice,
When do we want it?
now.
What do we want?
Justice,
When do we want it?
now.
Tomorrow?
No,
The next day?
no,
Next week?
no,
Next month?
no,
Next year?
no.
When?
now,
When?
now.
When?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
For who?
Adam Toledo,
For who? For who?
Adam Toledo.
All right, guys, we've stopped in front of Precinct 3, which is a police station department that was burned down shortly after the death of George Floyd. even further, it's important to note that in front of the crowd today, the lead group is the Black Panthers, the chapter here in Austin, and the Brown Berets, who are holding a poster that says Brown and Black Unite. There are also folks chanting, and there's a group of dancers. I didn't tell you exactly what group it is, but they're also dancing, all of it to bring attention to the Adam Toledo incident that occurred not very long ago. A 13-year-old was shot by a police officer with his hands up without a gun. Adam Toledo did have a gun while he was running away from police, but before turning around and putting his hands up, he put the gun down, threw it, turned around with his hands up, and was shot ultimately by this police officer as soon as he turned around with his hands up. But that's what these folks are out here for, just demanding justice for that particular case. The case is still being heard in court, so, and the family's demanding justice. So just keep updated with what's going on there. But we just went down Lake Street, turned where the 3rd precinct was placed, the building that was burned shortly after George Floyd's murder. So let's get right back to it.
Adam Toledo! Adam Toledo! Adam Toledo! Justice!
What do we want it?
Now!
When I say what do we want, you say community control. What do we want?
Community control!
What do we want?
Community control!
What do we want?
Community control!
What do we want?
Community control! When I say what do we want, y'all say abolition. What do we want? Abolition! What do we want? Abolition! What do we want? Abolition! When I say who keeps us safe, you say we keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
For who?
Adam Toledo!
What's his name?
Adam Toledo!
Say his name.
Adam Toledo!
La poli, la migra, la misma porquería. La poli, la migra, la misma porquería. La poli, la migra, la misma porquería. Hay aguas. Who needs water? We got you. La poli, la migra, la misma porquería. La poli, la migra, la misma
Yes.
porquería.
What kind of system you are using to live
La
stream?
migra, la
Just
misma
Facebook.
porquería.
I mean, Joesting, especially, I know Joest is streaming.
So most of this is for the audio. For this, I have a wireless mic here for interviews. This helps me get both into the iPhone, and then this is just a light and a battery. But I go live on Facebook.
Say his name.
Adam Toledo!
Say his name.
So how do you get this?
What's his name?
This
Say his
tripod.
name.
It's a monopod with tripod base. There's a lot of them. If you just look up like monopod, you'll get a lot of different kinds. This one's my favorite. It's this brand right here. But
When you go live stream, you can put your logo, caption, and something like that.
no, I don't do that because I go live straight on Facebook.
If Adam don't get it, if Adam don't get it, if Adam don't get it, if Adam
don't get it, if Adam don't get it, if Adam don't get it, if Adam don't get it, if Adam don't get it, I don't know what y'all been told. The killer cops have got to go. Say, I don't know what y'all been told. But killer cops have got to go. Say, fuck 12. Say, fuck 12. Say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 9, 10, 11. I said 9, 10, 11. I don't know what y'all been told. But killer cops have got to go. Say, I don't know what y'all been told. But killer cops have got to go. Say, fuck 12. Say, fuck 12. Say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I said 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 9, 10, 11. Abolish police. Abolish ICE.
justice for Adam Toledo.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. 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 When I say Chinga la migra, you say fuck the police. Chinga la migra, fuck the police. Chinga la migra, fuck the police. Chinga la migra, fuck the police. Chinga la migra! Fuck the police!
First to the mic, we have the local chairman of the new Panther Nation, Black Panther Nation, Nazi. Give him a round of applause. He's going to take that mic.
When I say no
This land was always theirs. This land was always theirs. They are the indigenous man and woman of this land. And that's facts. This land was stolen. This land was stolen. You can't call anybody thugs or criminals or thieves, or you can't complain about looting and rioting when you are the founders of looting and rioting. You understand? You was the founders of looting and rioting. You was the founders of stealing. You stole people, land, stole people from continents, brought them over here, raped, robbed, and murdered them, and until this day, they continue to keep rape, robbing, and murdering us and our children. See, black unity and brown unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. This is something they don't want. When you look around you, look at the indigenous man and woman around here. This is what they don't want. They don't want to see this. That's why they continue to keep pushing divide and conquer tactics on you. They want to continue to keep you divided. Because where there's unity, there's power. When I say where there's unity, y'all say power. Where there's unity, there's 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 power. All day long. Continue to let these people divide and conquer you and separate us. How are you going to build a wall to keep the Latinos from coming over here, which they was already over here in the first place? You build walls, these were made up, man-made walls, from a country you didn't stole. And now you want to brag and be boastful and prideful because of your military, because of your police force. You want to brag and boast about it. Before any of this was called Mexico. The war was never there. They was always able to come over here. Before any of these man-made laws got brought up and built. Once you know your history, you know better. This is our land. And that's just the way it is. And now they're seeing us grow up in power. They see us growing in unity. They seeing us awakening in these last days. In the last age. That now they're becoming scared. They're becoming fearful. We ain't the one running around here shooting up schools.
Porque si no, nuestra nación no sigue. Paramos. Acompáñame a cerrar mi palabrita, que cuando diga Mexica, dice en Tiahui. ¡Mexica! 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 Oh, maestro, tengo la palabra.
That's what you see up there. You see our native dances and stuff up there.
Oiga, compadrito, de Dios, permiso de Dios, primero que nada, y con permiso de todos sus corazones, desde el más chiquito hasta el más grande. Gracias a todos los que llevaron hoy un cargo. Tercera palabra, por favor, le levante la mano. Sargentos. Sargentos. Segundas. Un chavo de segundas. Primera, la primera. ¿Cuál es mi primera palabra? Véngase para acá. Sargentos, segunda. Tercera. I want everybody to extend their hands and just send your best vibes to these palabras who met us so well today. Thank you so much. I don't know if we can go like this and just say whatever's in your heart. Hablando primero con el permiso de todos sus corazones. Cantar. Capitana Susana, con el permiso de los más chiquitos a los más grandes, incluyendo los bebecitos y los que vienen, Dios quiera. Muchas gracias por su energía hoy día, muchas gracias por su adaptación, como dijo el compadre Eric. Muchas gracias por la fuerza que siguen dando. Estuvo muy bonita la danza y me dio mucho gusto estar aquí hoy día, y a pesar de todas las otras danzas que ya habíamos hecho también, con mucha fuerza y mucho amor, y que lleguen con mucho bien a sus casas de regreso o a donde vayan después de aquí. Él les dio. Con el permiso de Dios y la jefa Susana de Dios. Gracias por darme la palabra hoy. Estoy aprendiendo mucho.
Estoy aquí para ayudar y apoyar a Adam Toledo porque él fue asesinado por la policía. Quizás decimos que está bien, quizás no, injustamente, lo creemos injustamente y lo que queremos ahorita es justicia para él.
I'm here today to demand justice for Adam Toledo, who was murdered by the police. Who's to say if he was a bad kid or not? Either way, what happened was wrong, and for that reason, we need justice.
Okay. Tengo una organización para ayudar a víctimas de violencia doméstica y abuso sexual. Desde hace 18 años. Soy emigrante, tengo 21 años que emigré a este país. Soy mexicana.
I run an organization that helps people who face domestic violence and sexual assault. I am an immigrant from Mexico. I've been here for 21 years, and of those 21 years, I've been helping my community for 18.
Y he estado apoyando siempre a la comunidad. Aquí en Minnesota y en otros estados he viajado.
I've been here working in Minnesota, but I've been working across the country in every state that I've traveled to.
Ahora, lo que estamos pidiendo es justicia por todos nuestros muertos que han sido a manos de la policía. Porque no nada más Adam Toledo, no George Floyd, no todos los hermanos que estamos ahora pidiendo justicia. No, hay muchos más.
We're here to demand justice for Adam Toledo, and we're here to demand justice for George Floyd, but there are so many brothers and sisters who have had their lives taken by the police, and we're here to demand justice for them. We're here to say no more.
Yo como directora ejecutiva de violencia doméstica me he dado cuenta que hay muchas cosas que la gente no habla. Todas las personas indocumentadas como nosotros que venimos a este país no quieren hablar sobre lo que les pasa con la policía.
As the executive director of a program that helps with domestic violence, I have noticed that so many of my undocumented friends and people that I help have things that they don't want to talk about. They don't feel safe talking about things that are happening with them.
Yo he ido a casas que me han llamado por violencia doméstica y la policía ha hecho un abuso contra ellos.
I've been to houses that call for assistance with domestic abuse, and the police show up and abuse them.
Muchas veces se ha llevado a la gente a la cárcel cuando llaman que están pasando por una violencia doméstica y los
We're
deportan.
currently in Minneapolis,
It's happened
Minnesota,
many times where people call about
where
domestic
folks right now
abuse,
speaking
and the police
about
arrest them and
police
deport them.
injustices. They've also
Ha
spoken today
golpeado a
specifically
ellos
about
mismos
Adam
también.
Toledo.
Yo me he dado cuenta porque yo he ido
in front
con
of
la
me,
gente a hacer
or
reportes.
behind us,
Los ha
essentially, there's a
golpeado
dance group
y la
that
gente,
came in,
las personas
participated in the
no
march,
hablan por no
along with
tener
the Brown
documentos.
Berets
Y esto
and
tiene que
the
parar.
Black Panthers.
Not only do
the
the
Black
police
Panthers
support
here
them,
in
but when they show up
Minneapolis,
to their houses, they beat
so
them. And
it's a
because the
group of
people
around
don't have
like 100
documentation,
plus
they're scared to
folks.
stand up for themselves. They're scared
Again,
to say anything.
Minneapolis,
and this
Minnesota,
needs to stop now.
For
La policía
Adam
tiene
Toledo.
que educarse y tienen que educarla. Por eso hay dinero para que paguen, para que los entrenen. ¿Cómo es su labor desarrollar dentro de la policía y cómo van a hacer cuando van a detener a una persona?
The police needs to educate themselves, and we need to educate them. We need to educate them. They have so much money, but still they continue to abuse us. Still they act like they don't know what they're doing, and it needs to stop.
Y esta marcha y todas las marchas que han habido se han estado haciendo y se va a estar haciendo a causa de que la policía pare de estar haciendo violencia en contra de todas las personas.
We're doing this march, and we've marched all year, and for the past 18 years for some people, to put a stop to police violence, to stop to police killings, and to stand up for the people who face domestic abuse.
Porque ahora son ellos, mañana podemos ser nosotros, ustedes, cada uno de ustedes puede ser en una oscuridad donde no hay cámaras, donde nadie lo vio, donde nadie dijo nada, tampoco lo grabó. ¿Y cómo podemos justificar si la policía no está educada?
Today we're marching for Adam Toledo, and we have marched for others throughout this past year, but it could be any one of us. Any one of us could meet a police officer in a dark alley or any space where there's no cameras. And we could be out here saying your names, any of our names.
Gracias, compañeros, por venir, y estamos aquí apoyando y seguimos en la lucha. ¿Qué es lo que queremos?
¡Justicia!
¿Cuándo la queremos?
¡Ahora!
What is you want it?
¡Now!
When you want it?
¡Now!
What is you want it?
¡Justice!
When you want it?
¡Now!
For who?
¡Toledo!
For who?
¡Toledo!
Minnesota sí se nota y estamos aquí, hermanos de Chicago, apoyándolos. Sí se puede, hasta la victoria.
Hasta la victoria. Minnesota does recognize Chicago. We're standing in solidarity for Adam Toledo, and we will keep standing in solidarity until we get justice. Thank you. Give it up. Thank you so much. And next, we're going to bring up Star from American Indian Movement to come say some words to us right now.
Back in July 1968, a bunch of women came together, Native American women came together to start a meeting because they were tired of their sons, their husbands, their nephews, their fathers being beat and killed by the police here in South Minneapolis. My grandmother, Alberta Downwin, was one of those women that were in that meeting and who named our movement. And we wanted to be here to support our other brown and black brothers and sisters. And we wanted to tell you that we will keep fighting with you and we'll keep standing with you. This isn't over. We've came a long way, but this isn't over. My grandma sat in that room, and here her granddaughter is years later walking and fighting that same fight. We're here with you all.
Thank you so much. When I say whose land, you say native land. Whose land?
Native land!
Whose land?
Native land!
Whose land?
Native land!
And next, we like to share the mic with our black brothers and sisters. So we're going to have Todd from BLM St. Paul. Give it up.
Thank you. First and foremost, R.I.P. Adam Toledo. Keeping the energy focused on people who are innocent and these untold stories about who these people were. And we've seen this young man. We've seen this little boy put his hands up. We've seen that he was afraid and that he surrendered. He stopped condoning in the criminal activity that he may have been partaking in, and he put his hands up, clearly in the air. And the police were so afraid, they still shot and killed him. Very similar to the situation with Dante Wright, where the officer was so afraid that their body overcame them and they accidentally killed somebody. These are all excuses. These are excuses that we must rip from this savage, nasty, wicked system. The system that we live could only be fought on a spiritual fight. We are battling in the flesh that hopefully 100 years from now, our children don't have to be back here fighting like this again. This is all the people that here that show love and support over and over and over again out of Minnesota that will not stop or tolerate any more excuses of bold-faced executions on sight. We will not be quiet. We will not stop. Hopefully we will wake up more people to come out here and fight with us as we stand against this wicked system. The common ground is the system is wrong and we need reform. But the change we always get, a whole bunch of bills thrown against the wall, don't go nowhere. Rewrite the same bills. What sense does that make?
That's that bullshit.
That's that bullshit.
That's that bullshit.
We, the people, need to be included at the table on one bill. Nothing that's been created before. We need something new. We tired of playing with this system that continuously leaves us back out here in these streets to deal with this trauma. I came out here to deliver a request of the Dante Wright family from everybody. As we march and stay focused for Adam Toledo, this is his time. This is his moment. And we should not steer from that. So as we overlap events later tonight at Brooklyn Center Police Department, we need help out
guys,
there.
for those of you wondering,
We want more people out
we're
there.
in
We want more
Minneapolis,
bodies out
Minnesota
there.
the
Fighting the
moment,
same
following
injustice
a march
across state lines that
that
killed Adam
involves
Toledo.
many folks demanding justice
Right here
for
in our own
Adam
state.
Toledo.
We have the same trauma that is going on outside of our state. We need all hands on deck to show this country we're not
We are
playing.
currently on the
We need to
corner,
all be here
pretty much
for one
almost
another.
in front of the 3rd
We standing
precinct.
for Adam Toledo, we here.
This group marched down Lake Street.
And that's what this is about.
Again,
We got to speaking about,
Minneapolis and
like we need
here,
our own police department,
in
our
front
own,
of
our own
a
protection
location
here.
called
Well,
Greek
let's start
Love
that taste
Cafe.
of it. So we have the Black
There's also
Entrepreneur State Fair.
the Brown
I know
Berets
that
and
inside
the
the
Black
Minnesota
Panther
State
chapter
Fair,
of
where I've been for
Minneapolis
7
present.
years, we have
They
our
were
own
leading the
police
march.
department.
There was
So let's run
Native
that same
American
thing back for our black
dancers,
folks.
what I assume
And
are
it'll
Native
look
American
like
dancers,
the new Black Panther
who
Party
danced
representing
in front
something like
and
that,
led the
and us
march as well.
growing together.
And now
So what y'all gonna
they've
witness
stopped here
is us turning it up
for
a
a rally,
notch
so
and push and
let's get
advocate
right back
for our
to it,
own
guys.
police in a small section of the
Minneapolis,
Black Entrepreneur
Minnesota,
State Fair.
justice
Let us
for
show
Adam
you how we
Toledo.
know how to protect our
That's
own.
what's happening right here at the 3rd
So
precinct.
as we coming into these endeavors, walk with us. The Black Entrepreneur State Fair, we're gonna shut down all of Lake Street. What you're witnessing now, that you ain't even gonna see it yet, and you're gonna just feel it. In August 22nd. This is a fight. We're not gonna back down. It's a marathon. And we out here forever. I love everybody out here. Appreciate y'all. Out of love for Dante Wright family, please come on out here to the Brooklyn Center Police Department as we protest non-stop. Say his name. Say his name. Dante Wright. Say his name. Say his name. Dante Wright. Say his name.
Dante Wright!
Say his name.
Dante Wright!
All right, I just need to remind everyone to keep your mask on, even if you're speaking. We're still in the middle of the pandemic. No shade, but, you know, it's brown and black communities that are struggling the most with this. Let's remember. And next to the mic, we're going to have a new member of the Brown Berets. So let's give it up for him right now.
My name is Jason Gonzalez. It's been a long time coming. I'm so glad to be before you today, and I'm honored. Thank you for taking the time. And I wanted to get a little bit off my chest, and I want to make sure I don't miss any points on this. So today, we continue to overcome the loss of another sacred life. This time, a child's life, Adam Toledo's life. I'm not going to stand here today and reiterate everything that you already know about what's going on in our communities. We see it, we hear it, and we feel it every day. I take responsibility, and so should you. So simply put, our Latino community needs to draw the line now, today. Why is it that our people need to debate each other on the justification of someone's death, somebody that's ours? And I know you hear it in your families and dinner conversations. You quit debating. Someone lost their life. That's the end of it. That's the end of the story.
That's right.
All right? So Also, why don't we all recognize that we're being killed wrongfully right alongside our black, Native, and Asian brothers and sisters? And have been since the beginning. When would we realize we only have ourselves and each other to rely on, and we have to pry out our fair share from the white man's in positions of power? They have looted this country to begin with. They lie to you. They even teach our kids in school to appreciate the crooks that made it all happen.
Come on.
The little white lie isn't so little. We need to become a bigger presence in this country and highlight our heritage no matter where.
Woo!
We are all Americans, and we all have our heritage that we have to demonstrate day in and day out and be proud of it. We have to understand our history. We have to teach that to our kids so that they understand that this is all an illusion.
Woo!
It belongs to us. On our journey to prosperity, we need to hold the confused and lost souls accountable for laying in bed with the oppressors and recycling their rhetoric and lies just to feel accepted.
Woo!
If we don't come together as a collective and align our mentality, we will fail to solve anything and extinguish ourselves, leaving our ancestors' sacrifices to expire. We all know we need a revolution. And if we all know that, we need to understand that not only do we need peaceful demonstrations, but we also need defense-ready demonstrations like today, with more arms, with more weapons, to defend ourselves and show our presence every day. I want our people to legally carry. If America doesn't like to see violence here, then there shouldn't be war at all.
That's right.
Don't let that statement concern you. I know our culture is a little bit timid when it comes to bearing arms. Our culture doesn't like to defend themselves. They like to rely on the justice of the government. And that's no longer. It hasn't been working, and we have to change that today.
That's right.
We are too prideful at times when it comes to one another, and that pride should be projected towards the common enemy, not each other. We need to continue to use the First and embrace the Second Amendment, using it to our advantage. They need to think twice about traumatizing our communities. Our kids deserve better. America claims they're scared of us, that we're gang members, we're rapists, drug dealers, and killers, but guess what? You all know the biggest gang in America is the police, right? If you disagree, why is there a blue wall of silence? They conceal that information from you so that they can continue to evade justice, and granted paid vacations for it, for killing one of your own. They rape our women and children in detention facilities at the border and provide drugs to the poorest communities to profit from it. Well, we get the crumbs of that profit to survive. We Latinos don't have the history of killing. They do in this country. So there's no reason why you should ever hear somebody from the other side say, I am scared. I am worried about Latino people and black people and Asian people, Native people coming together. Why are you so scared? You guys have been killing us since this all started, since you took our land. I get confused. A Latino parent will send their kids out to war for a country that still calls them illegal. And even if they weren't, we don't owe this country anything. It owes us when we work to build and maintain it. Not only that, but they also give you the incentive to go to war for this country, and then, only then, if you survive, you will have a better chance of becoming an American. What kind of shit is that? They should not, and with your help, to spread the word and spread the mentality, they will not have the privilege to use us as pawns for the robbery of land and resources. We must teach our children better. They should use their own people as targets for wars they love to ensue, all in the name of divide and conquer. Everything is give on our side and never take. This land belongs to the people who work and to build and maintain it, and that is you. We need to collectively come together, lay down principles to have a foundation of moral responsibilities that we can all follow to build one another up and not tear each other down like our cultures were taught to do over time. No one should feel better than one another in our communities. It's a damn shame that some of our younger generations have no sense of history and choose to obtain a false sense of reality out there just to feel accepted, and behind their back, just as we see it, they pick and choose on who gets to stay and who gets to go in this country. If we don't climb together, we will fall individually. Right now, we are falling individually. If you look at the recent campaign, we didn't get a seat at a table. After all people have gone through at these camps, we are barely part of the conversation to get our vote. We must value ourselves, we must value our votes. The last statement I'll make, we acknowledge, complain, and then let them take their time, the government, to make decisions on what to do with us. We must stop the operation and flip this board game around and create our own. I pray Adam is in paradise. I pray we are able to wake up and save the next child in our community. Thank you.
Hey, we should have 2 more speakers and we're going to keep it going. Just as a reminder, we said this at the beginning of the march, we are going to be meeting up with a vigil for Yadira Romero Martinez, who was murdered, and they're having a vigil right up on Lake Street on 18th. So on the way back, we're going to link up with them, and for people who need to get home, the Green Beret Black Panthers will escort you back to where all the cars are at South High School. So with that, give it up to our second to last speaker, Isaac from the Brown Berets.
Thank you, Francisco. Appreciate it. Tonalto, everyone. Nanotuka Isaac. My name is Isaac. I'm with the Brown Berets. We're gathered here today because we're tired. We're tired of seeing the racism against us. We're tired of the abuse. We're tired of seeing our people killed day in and day out. It seems to be happening every week, every day. Just on March 29th, Adam Toledo was killed at the hands of Chicago police. A few days later, on April 11th, Dante Wright was killed. The same day that we were awaiting the verdict of George Floyd, Makia Bryant was killed out in Columbus, Ohio. When does this shit end? When's it gonna end? It needs to end. Now, the police and their bootlickers would have you believe that they're justified in all these killings, that they were in danger, that they were protecting others, that whatever the case may be, excuse after excuse after excuse, blah, blah, blah. They're just trying to give us reasons to dehumanize these people and find reasons for why they deserve death. There is no excuse for murder. We're led to believe from a young age that the police are here to protect us. That if ever we're in danger, that they'll save us. Yeah, right. That shit don't happen. And Kia believed that. This poor girl was 15 years old. She was being harassed by people in her community. She feared for her safety. She called the people that she was told were there to save her. And when the cops showed up, they took one look at the situation. They didn't try to understand what was going on. They pulled their weapon and they fired. They didn't try to de-escalate. They didn't try to use none of that non-lethal technology that they got. What the fuck are we giving them that technology if we're not going to use it for? Why are we paying for them to kill us? It's not right. She died believing that the people there that killed her were there to save her. That ain't right. She should still be with us today. Dante Wright died 2 weeks ago, April 11th. Now, I remember that day. We were worried that some white supremacists were going to show up at the Capitol, try to spew their racist bullshit. Little did we know that the actual white supremacists were killing another black man that day. What'd they pull him over for? An air freshener? They're saying now that they had a fucking arrest warrant. But they didn't know that at the time. They saw a fucking reason to pull this black man over and then trump up charges on him. And the Dante tried to run, sure. So what? Human instinct to try to stay free. That's not a fucking reason to sign his death warrant. So they had 100 different ways to bring him in. They could have called the radio in. They could have done a whole lot of things, but they didn't do any of them. They pulled out a taser and they shot him in the chest. You know, how is it that we expect more discipline from 18-year-old soldiers in Afghanistan, but a 26-year police veteran can't fucking show any control at all? That ain't right. No, if she can't tell the difference between a taser and a pistol, then we shouldn't be giving them guns in the first place. Then you get these bootlickers that say, you know, there's this excuse that we all hear, oh, they should have complied. They should have complied. They'd be alive today. That's bullshit. Now, Adam Toledo complied. No, he was running. He stopped when they told him to stop. He dropped that gun when they told him to drop the gun. He showed his hands when they told him to raise his hands. And he still got shot. Is that right? That ain't right. No, the bootlickers say that he had to make a split-second decision, and he did. He made the wrong one. He should face the consequences of his decision. It doesn't matter what we do. We're all targets to these trigger-happy murdering bastards. You know, we don't even have to be breaking the law for them to kill us. Now look at Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, Elijah McClain, Andres Guardado, Eric Salgado. You know, all these people are doing nothing wrong, and they still wound up dead. If you're black or brown, you're automatically a threat to those fucking killers. Doesn't matter what you do. It needs to stop. Our communities can't continue to handle these sanctioned killings on our tax dollar. The unwarranted killings of our people has to stop. Killer cops must be held accountable. We can't keep living in fear that the next traffic stop we experience is going to be our last moment alive. That ain't right. The justice system is fundamentally broken and it must be abolished. In its place, we need to rebuild a system that centers healing our people and not punishing them. The only way we're going to do that is by educating our youth, teach them to take back their power, and by uniting together. Thank you. Viva la causa.
Thank you, Isaac. Say his name, Adam Toledo. Say his name, Adam Toledo. Say his name, Adam Toledo. Say his name, Adam Toledo.
I want to thank every single one of you for being out here with us right now. You know, it's been a long day, it's been a long week, it's been a long month, it's been a long fucking year. And today we're out here for Adam Toledo, who lost his life to police violence. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all know exactly how I'm feeling right now. We've been getting our asses beat out here, but we continue to keep our boots on the ground. And we're here today because we know that the conviction of killer cops doesn't mean justice. We got that last week, but that don't mean justice. We need a conviction of this whole system. Because when a child puts his hands in the air and is still shot to death, rest in peace, Adam Toledo. When a child is at school and is shot to death, rest in peace, Anthony Thompson. When a child calls for help and is shot to death, rest in peace, Micaiah Bryant. We know that the system is guilty. These are our children, and we must keep them safe at all costs. And I'm sure some of y'all realize, oh, this march is for Adam Toledo. Why didn't they say Brown Lives Matter? Why didn't they say Latino Lives Matter when we were marching? Because we say Black Lives Matter, and that says it all. As non-black and non-indigenous people of color, we need to realize that the oppression that we face finds its foundation on anti-blackness and the colonization of these lands. We must also realize that we continue to be colonized. We continue to be colonized until Native people get land back. Until black bodies aren't exploited from birth. until black women aren't sterilized for having too many children. My brain's scrambled. Let me pull my nose. Yeah. And realizing that we are colonized, don't fucking forget it, and realizing that our oppression is based on anti-blackness and anti-indigenous racism is the first step to unity. But while we recognize that our oppression is based on black and indigenous oppression, we have to also take time to reflect and heal from our own experiences. Brown children are locked in cages, away from their families. Brown and black children are locked in prisons. They treat us like we're adults. They said Adam Toledo was a 13-year-old adult man. Can someone say that ain't right? That ain't right! And remember that this oppression, this racism, this violence, it's all to expand capitalism. And what capitalism does is takes this oppression, racism, and violence that we're in the center of and expands it all over the world. All over the world, all over the world's resources, all of its people. We must be united, but we cannot only be united through tragedy. We cannot only be united through fear. We must be united through community. We must be united through love. We must be united through revolution. Woo! Because the only way we're going to get justice for Adam Toledo is creating a world where Adam Toledo would have been safe. Where children are safe. And we are creating that world. Because as we said earlier, we keep ourselves safe. We keep each other warm. We keep each other fed. Children deserve to be safe. And children deserve to be heard. Children deserve to have autonomy. But for some reason, our school system gives them the opposite. It tells you, sit down, shut up, raise your hand if you have to go to the bathroom. And in cases like Anthony Thompson, it says, if you go to the bathroom, the police are going to show up and kill you. We cannot stop at police conviction. We have to move forward to police abolition. We have to move forward to abolition of the state, abolition of capitalism. Remember that we live in a society where to get ahead, you have to exploit your neighbor. Yes, we have made advancements in civil liberties, in civil rights, since the 60s, since the time of slavery, but they have made just as many advancements in forms of oppression. They have changed the name. They have re-strategized. They continue to profit off of our backs, our lives, and off of our children's labor. This is why our unity cannot stop at the conviction of cops. Fuck the cops. We're here unified in love. We're here unified in justice for Adam Toledo, George Floyd, Philando Castile, Tresor Thong Vu, all of the missing and murdered indigenous women, all of the single mothers and fathers who can barely feed their children. We are united in love as one community. So when I say one, you say community. One. Community. One. Community. One. Community. And we're about to get this shit back going. Let's get up, get up, get up. One. Community. One. Community. One. Community. One. Community. ¿Qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. ¿Qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. ¿Qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. Di su nombre. Adam Toledo. Di su nombre. Adam Toledo. Di su nombre. Adam Toledo. What's his name? Adam Toledo. Say his name. Adam Toledo. What's
do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
So for those of you wondering, we're out in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now, in front of the 3rd Precinct, marching away from it. We were at the intersection of the 3rd Precinct. I'm not sure exactly what street we're marching down, but Minneapolis, Minnesota, this group was originally being led at the front. This was a march by the Black Panther chapter in Minneapolis and the Brown Berets. And talking to the Brown Beret folks, I've found out that they came together shortly after the death or murder of George Floyd and have since been activating or doing a lot of activism here with black and brown folks. So Brown Berets, Black Panthers, both historic groups that are well known for in the 60s and before that being groups and organizations that fervently fought for equality. So let's get right back to it. But thank you for being part of this platform, unbiased information for communities around the country, as many people that can benefit from following and watching this information as it unfolds. Again, completely unbiased journalism. Thank you.
La police. La migra. La misma porquería. La police. La migra. La misma porquería. When I say fuck ICE, you say fuck the police. Fuck ICE. 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 Fuck the police. Say fuck ICE. Fuck the police. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. I said 9, 10, 11. That's right. So many more chances to learn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. I said 9, 10, 11. That's right. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. What do we want? 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 For who? Adam Toledo. For who? Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo. Hands up. Hands up. No shit. Hands up. No shit. Hands up. No shit. Hands up. No shit. What do we do when children are under attack? Stand up like that. What do we do when children are under attack? Stand up like that. What do we do when children are under attack? Stand up like that. Fuck world. Fuck world. Fuck world. Fuck world. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE.
I just still here from Floyd.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These killer cops have got to go! Hey, hey!
So again, we're out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, following a group of protesters, including organizations like the Black Panthers and the Brown Berets, who are demanding justice for Adam Toledo. This march started in front of a high school, actually. I'm not sure what its name is. We came down to the 3rd Precinct, which was burned down shortly after George Floyd's murder. And now they stopped in front of the 3rd Precinct, gave a couple speeches, and now they're marching down Minnehaha Avenue? I have no clue how to pronounce it. And 32nd Street. But that's so far what's been happening here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When homophobes are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace.
It's almost as if like somebody was writing Minneapolis and then laughed halfway through. Mini haha. I have no clue how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, guys. Thought that was funny. I'm not funny. I have a bunch of dad jokes that make nobody laugh but myself. So.
No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. Fuck these racist ass police. Fuck these racist ass police. Fuck these racist ass police.
And for those folks apologizing to each other for being too aggressive or emotionally involved, thank you for keeping the discussion civil. You're everything this is about. You are the reason I do this. I do this not because I want to incite any kind of violence. Remember, we're out here specifically after the riots or protests because we're here to get information, not so much just here to do trauma porn. That's ridiculous. This is information for the community that's going to hopefully help you form an opinion that's informed and based on facts, and not just what the mainstream media is throwing at you. So, again, not about the trauma here, guys. That's why we didn't come earlier. But we're out when we can actually get tangible information that helps us form valid opinions about the things going on in our society. So.
¿Cuándo lo queremos? ¿Qué queremos? ¿Para quién? ¡Di su nombre! ¡Di su nombre! ¿Qué queremos? ¿Cuándo lo queremos? ¿Qué queremos? ¿Cuándo lo queremos? What's his name? Adam Toledo! Say his name! Adam Toledo! What's his name? Adam Toledo! Say his name! Adam Toledo! What's his name? Adam Toledo! Say his name! Adam Toledo! Hey, hey! Oh, oh! You should have got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, oh! You should have got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, oh! You should have got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, oh! These Democrats have got to go, hey, hey! Oh, oh! These Democrats have got to go, hey, hey! Oh, oh! These Democrats have got to go. La police, la migra, porteria.
Up in front of me are the Brown Berets and Black Panthers, both chapters here in Minneapolis that are essentially kind of leading the march. Looks like they're also ensuring that folks here are staying safe.
Chinga la migra, fuck the police. 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 Left, left, right, left, 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 right,
Left, left, right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Left, left, right. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. March, march. So behind me are the Brown Berets and Black Panthers of Minneapolis, and behind them is a group of folks, all of which are marching down on 32nd Street, and I'm too blind to read, but we're on 32nd Street, East 32nd Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're marching for justice for Adam Toledo. These folks marched down Lake Street, stopped at the 3rd Precinct, gave some speeches, and now continue marching down this road. So we'll keep covering this march as it progresses, and as these folks walk down 32nd Street in Minneapolis, Minnesota, demanding justice for Adam Toledo.
What the system's done to me. They lock us up and play God. Ain't no justice in this town. Mama, mama, don't you know? Mama, mama, don't you know? The police have got to go. They lock us up and shoot us down. Ain't no justice in this town. What the system's done to me. They locked us up and put us down. Ain't no justice in this town. Mama, mama, don't you know? The police have got to go. The police have got to go. They locked us up and shoot us down. Ain't no justice in this town. Ain't no justice in this town. When black youth are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! When black youth are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! What do? Stand up, fight back! What do? Stand up, fight back! When black women are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! What do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! When trans lives are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! What do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Say his name! What's his name?
So for those of you just joining, we're in Minneapolis, Minnesota, following a group demanding justice for Adam Toledo. This group is being led by Black Panthers and Brown Berets, who are marching in front of the group. And there are protesters behind me who are chanting different things, demanding justice again for Adam Toledo.
Black and brown! Black and brown! Black and brown! Black and brown!
Unite! Indict! Convict! Send those
Killer cops to jail!
No hold!
Damn system
is guilty as hell! Indict!
Convict!
Send those killer cops
to jail!
The whole damn system is guilty as hell!
So for those of you just joining, we are downtown, God, so used to saying downtown Austin. We're in Minneapolis, just passed by the 3rd precinct. We're marching now down 32nd Street, East 32nd. This group is demanding justice for Adam Toledo. There's 2 chapters here, one of the Brown Berets and another of the Black Panthers, who are essentially leading this march. And behind them is groups of like 30 to 50 folks, again, demanding justice for Adam Toledo. This started as a march down Lake Street, stopped in front of the 3rd precinct, and now is continuing on to, I'm not too sure where, so I'll keep you all updated.
Who's on the ground? We're here to shut the shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here to shut the shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here to shut the shit down.
Di su nombre. Di su nombre. ¿Qué queremos?
¡Justicia!
¿Cuándo lo queremos?
¡Ahora!
¿Qué queremos?
¡Justicia!
¿Cuándo lo queremos?
¡Ahora!
¿Qué queremos?